focus group was made up of applicants for the Dolphin Square Foundation's Moreton Street development. The participants were invited to discuss tenancy conditions, community development and additional services. When discussing tenancy conditions, two key themes emerged. The participants all sought a level of security in their tenancies, delivered either through length or through tenancy conditions. There were also concerns around affordability, particularly the ability to plan finances for the future and to have a rent that enabled a certain quality of life.
6 months would be a little bit too short, because I think by the time you've moved in, you're moving out again, you know. And I'd like to, once I've moved in and I'm settled and feel happy there, I don't want to feel, oh, I've got to move out in X amount of time. And so, as you said, sort of have a rolling tenancy, maybe say a year to start with, and then sort of a month by month rent, where, as you say, either party could finish it. But if it wasn't like myself finishing it, the landlord finishing it, then you were given, say, 3 or 4 months notice, so that you were given plenty of time to actually make other arrangements if you had to.
I think it would be like reassuring if you could have a rollover tenancy. I just think it would be more reassuring for people like myself that have a family. 2 years isn't long enough to get your head around it. Like, you know, if you just get your child into school and then you've got to move, you know,
it's effects where they
do you know what I mean? It's not really an ideal thing. So I think having the rollover, it just gives you a sense of security.
You're prepared to pay a higher rent to kind of cross that quality of life threshold, and that's definitely had a very big impact.
Definitely. But I had to compromise to get so that I could get in and get the studio. And even though it is a lovely little studio and I do like it, just sometimes you just need that extra little bit of space.
Is there a type of tenancy or a length of tenancy that you would need to feel secure with?
I think a longer, I wouldn't like 12 months. It's just a year just goes too quick. So the longer the tenancy, the better, I'd say. The longer tenancy is just a bit more secure, because otherwise, you know, you're always thinking if it's a year, then you've got a tenancy for a year, and then you have to, like you say, maybe move out again, and you've got to start looking for a deposit for a place, and it's all of, you know. So the longer the better, I say.
Earlier with the rent to home buy, usually it's sort of around about 3 years roughly, and then you get the option. And I know some housing associations, when they do that scheme, is that at that 3 year time, some of the rent that you've actually, because you've had discounted rent that you've been paying for 3 years, some of that you're given a percentage of that back to help towards the deposit you've already saved as well at that time, so that you are able to buy it. So it makes it easier for you when you get to that point to buy. You know, so it does help, and at least then the landlord knows, well, I've got a tenant there, definitely. If I make it easier for them to buy.
Off-plan letting would be an option sought after by an overwhelming majority of focus group participants. There was a consensus that off-plan letting would reduce the pressure currently felt around notice periods with existing landlords, and would allow for tenants to become familiar with their neighbours and community. The participants were keen that if off-plan letting was offered, key practical housing management decisions could be made in consultation with future residents. It was important to the participants to be able to see a mock-up flat and understand the tenancy agreement fully.
And are there any concerns with letting off plan, having not walked round the flat?
See a mock-up, I think, definitely before you sign the dotted line, so you had
Some idea.
an idea of what it was. Yeah.
And at the back, any concerns then?
I'm the same, but I'd like to see a mock-up and obviously know how long the tenancy is and what the rent is before I signed anything.
But it would be nice just to have that security.
Yeah, definitely to say, okay, I know in X amount of time I'm going to move into it, and there's a definite, you know, that I know definitely I will move into that flat. Yeah.
Because otherwise you've got to start considering a plan B, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You don't know when your landlord's going to,
and then it's like, no, you're not going to get it. So the letting off plan would be a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know when your landlord's going to tell you I need the flat back.
Yeah.
Then you have got it in mind, then you can go somewhere for a short while.
Yeah.
You don't need to
plan.
Plan your life much better.
I also think, like with the Dolphin Square, I think it would be really nice, you know, to have like a pre-evening, you know, you get to know who you're going to live with.
Letting off plan is letting before it's being built.
Oh, okay.
So signing up to it, knowing that when it is built,
you're going to get
Oh,
something.
It's
yeah,
yours.
that's really good.
move in
I will
and
sign
start.
Yeah.
Sign it now.
Just sign it now.
As well is that
All of the attendees were keen to take part in community development activities both pre and post move-in date. There was a wave of opinion supporting the importance of community and the feelings of security tied to belonging to one. Some of the potential tenants were already living in accommodation where they are accustomed to feeling a sense of community. In most cases, this grew organically from resident-led initiatives. The potential to establish a flourishing community through a combination of management and resident-led initiatives is a great one.
Around sort of just in my block of flats, she was sort of the person who sorted things for the building, you know, so she would, you
Was she
know,
a resident as well?
yeah, she'd been there 30 years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she just died. You know, but she was the one who kept everyone going in the flat, and if anything needed doing, she would know what to do, where to go. You know, she was.
So essentially, it's resident-led involvement as
Kind
opposed
of,
to the
yeah.
housing association
Yes.
encouraging you. To
Exactly. We all sort of stuck together as a, you know, just a group of people living in the same building.
And I also think, like, living in Pimlico, Westminster, I think there's always been a sense of community, you know,
especially
like for
the church.
me,
The family was in the same cell.
for me, I was born and brought up here,
So it's like we've known each other.
yeah, and so we know so many people, and so it's so nice to have that community and just have that around you, because it makes you feel like you're at home. And I always put fresh flowers every week, wherever I live, because I just think it's nice for my neighbours, it's nice for me when I come in, it makes me feel happy, I love flowers. And I also used to get like loads of little notes and posted through my little number 5 and stuff like that, saying thanks for the flowers, it makes me really happy.
I mean, and when you know your neighbours, if they've got a certain strength, you've got certain strengths, you know, you can call on them and they can call on you for different things.
Yeah, that having a community increases your feeling of quality and
Yes.
also
Oh, yeah,
security.
Security, you
And
know,
you-
yeah.
And if you do live alone, you don't feel quite so lonely.
In isolation is also
Yeah. Yeah.
And you wouldn't consider a move outside of Westminster even with those conditions?
No.
Okay.
Westminster is, I don't know, Westminster is home.
Yeah.
A significant proportion of the participants have been Westminster residents from birth. They have gone through their lives without moving away from the borough and have now chosen to have families of their own in Westminster. They feel passionately about local homes for local people, enabling people to stay close to their long-standing support networks of friends and families.
I mean, I'd like to go tomorrow if I could, but I know that obviously we've got to wait till 2013. But just to know that there's something coming, it, you know, means a lot, and to know that I am eventually going to be able to move out. So I want to bring her up where I was brought up.
Exactly.
I don't want to live in.
So to know as soon as
Say for me, for instance, like I've lived here all my life, the same as the girls at the end. We don't have any other opportunity. There's nothing. There's
It's
nothing
really important
for
to you,
us.
isn't it?
It's really, really
It
important.
would be
to
the
us.
same, wouldn't you, when you kind of like, you know, with the way housing is nowadays, you know, if you don't work or, you know, you're signing on or something, you have a baby, you get a place. So it's kind of like, but
We
if you
don't
work,
have that
but
opportunity.
if you work, you don't get any opportunities.
Like, why should I move out of where I've been brought
Exactly,
up?
that's
You
exactly
know,
how I feel.
why am I moving out from where people can look after my baby or, you know, can help
How
out?
important
And
that's
you
important.
just want. Well, I've been on a housing list since I was 17.
Yeah,
I'm now
17.
nearly 32, so that's like
Me too.
15 years
Yeah.
on a housing list, which is on a list that they just took away in the end because there was no point, there is
Yeah.
no list now. So there was no other option to Westminster Housing to say, yeah, so this is the, like
And the
I said,
thing
first
is, for me
list.
as well, if I wasn't
What would I be
married,
able to afford after
if
that?
I wasn't married, then I wouldn't be able to afford to rent.
No.
So I'm never going to split up with my husband because I never want to live back on. And for people like us, for your for their foundation, I think it would be amazing for you to have people like us, you know, that were just genuine working class people.
Exactly.
When I went and had a
Do this.
meeting with Steve Logie, it was just like a breath of fresh air. It was just like, oh my God, someone's finally
See,
looking out for
Yeah.
people
That
that are working class.
Work.
It is clear that there is enthusiastic demand for the Moreton Street development. Participants were impressed by the Dolphin Square Foundation's consultative approach to strategy development. We hope that their contribution, in combination with the strategic decisions made, will make for a management strategy delivering high levels of satisfaction and a well-established community spirit.